This is a mech that I only recently picked up. It's a light mech, and I don't usually care so much for them, but this one is a different style. If you've seen the Ember videos I uploaded, for example, that one is more of a harasser. You know, you run around and try to get behind people, you know, do damage that way. This one is a support mech. So you can see that it has ECM, so I'm helping shield my allies from the other team's sensors, and then it has triple anti-missile system. You see the CAMS-3 at the bottom. So that's going to let me shoot down a lot of incoming missiles, which there's actually, I think, a couple of LRM boats in this match on the enemy team. So I'll be able to do some decent work there. And then for my own firepower, I've got half a dozen medium lasers. For this mech, that's really too much. It's too hot. But it's a support mech, so I'm not so much running out to get my own kills. Instead, I should basically be hanging around my teammates and adding my firepower to theirs. So, you know, I can maybe fire 3 lasers and then fire 3 again if I want to do some suppressing fire. Or if I really want to soften up a component for an ally, I can just shoot all 6 into one spot and maybe open up something for somebody with more firepower to do better damage. But here I'm at the front, which I really shouldn't be, but I did that because this is domination, and being a light mech, I had to try to run to the objective as quickly as I could to prevent the enemy team from, you know, getting the counter to tick down in their favor too much. So here I noticed there's a UAV up in the sky.
Commando Hotel.
You can see the thrusters on the UAV. That's always the giveaway. And so I'm trying to get my 2 arm lasers pointed at it, and I had to run around my teammate there. Now if you look in the middle, there's the rangefinder. It says infinity meters right now. Then it says 257. That lets me know that my arm lasers were suddenly pointed at something. And even though it was obstructed behind that bar in my cockpit, I could tell that was pointed at the UAV.
New target.
So sometimes even if you don't have direct line of sight, you can still tell what you're pointed at. Here I went ahead and moved up with the rest of my team. You sometimes want to go up and support that vanguard so they don't get, you know, overrun, or they don't get pelted with LRMs or something and, you know, driven back.
New target acquired.
So here I'm kind of trying to watch my fire, so you can see I'm just shooting, you know, 3 lasers at a time. I think this is my second match with this mech, so it doesn't have very many skill points, which means that it doesn't cool off as quickly. The weapons don't generate, or they generate more heat than they would if they were skilled up. You know, there's lots of things that you can invest your skill points in. I don't have as much armor as I would, and yet here I am just staring a 100-ton mech in the face, because that's what I do. It's how I'm used to playing, so again, I'm not very good at light mechs. But I shoot down another UAV so that the enemy team doesn't have sight on us. When you put up a UAV, you can see any hostile units, even if they're behind cover, when they're within, I think it's about 250 meters. And it'll last for quite a while. So it'll even let you see through ECM. So anytime you are in a support role and you see one of those over your team, you really want to take it down.
New target acquired.
So I went looking for that Atlas again. I think it actually got destroyed. I kind of forget, but I didn't see it, so I thought I'd see what else was around.
Acquired.
And there's another LRM boat in the background. You can see how red my armor's getting. Again, I'm not used to lights, and so I just keep thinking I can stand out in front of something and take a lot more damage. But here I am moving up with the Vanguard again. Being a smaller target under ECM, they're not going to pay as much attention to me. And I remember that guy from earlier was already badly damaged, and so I took a shot at him. I think I took off his side torso and killed him. He was probably running an extra light engine, being a small mech.
Target acquired.
And I tried to get his leg. I didn't really trace it very well, but I stayed on his leg for most of the time, so you can see both of his legs are pretty badly damaged.
Target destroyed.
And then here's their LRM boat. My positioning would be good since I'm close to him, since I could shoot down a lot of his long-range missiles.
Thing destroyed.
But A, I'm badly damaged, and B, he was trying to engage a target that was right in front of him, so he wasn't going to shoot missiles anyway.
New target acquired.
Here, I kind of just did this to see what my heat buildup would be like, because again, this is a new mech for me. I'm not generating any less heat, really, by staggering my fire, but it does give my my mech more time to cool off, since I'm generating just smaller amounts of heat at a time. You know, as opposed to firing all 6, where I'm just going to have a big heat spike, and then it's going to take a while to cool down. You know, if you fire one laser at a time, you just generate small amounts of heat. Anyway, we're down to the last target. I didn't bother shooting down that UAV because it doesn't matter if he knows where our team is. He's going to die. Unless he just runs off to hide, which some people do, but thankfully this guy did not. So I thought he was going to go right, and then I was wrong. He ducked in left because he had a lot of cover there. And I don't really get to do much to him. I barely tag him there, and then he overheats and kills himself. And we win the game. So you'll see I did okay damage. I mean, it was high 300s, which is fine for a light mech. You know, it's not amazing, but it's fine, especially for the first, you know, couple matches. I destroyed 294 missiles, which means I helped prevent a lot of damage to my team. So for support mech, I think this went pretty well.